Yo, what is going on, guys? Got a video here today titled, "She Instantly Regrets Divorce When He Wins the Lottery." So this is a bit of a unique story here. We've got a guy who won the lottery, who recently got divorced, and of course, people are saying that he should give some of the winnings to her, which of course is absolutely stupid. So without further ado, let's jump in. Don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments.
It still hasn't hit me.
He's the ordinary Joe who just hit it big, really big. Mike Worski won $273 million in the New Jersey Mega Millions jackpot. The 54-year-old winner is really enjoying his newfound celebrity status, but he's also finding himself in a bit of a pickle. Mike got divorced just 5 months ago. Now everybody is asking, will he give his ex-wife a share of his winnings?
No, he shouldn't, especially because if she won the lottery, she would not give him anything.
Got these wins.
It's crazy to me, guys, that men are expected to give something in the first place. So apparently a lot of men, a lot of people are asking this man the question, hey, listen, you've just won $273 million. Aren't you going to give some of it to your ex-wife? You know, the woman who in all likelihood just divorced you. Are you going to go out there and are you going to give her some of the winnings? Absolutely not, man. It's crazy to me, guys. I've said this in many, many episodes where we cover things like child support and alimony and stuff like this, but people always expect men to continue to put into a relationship that no longer exists. It's always been very crazy to me.
Women being raised to be just entitled, like they're owed something for just showing up. I showed up, I'm owed something. I showed up on this date, you owe me a meal. You owe me entertainment. You owe me all this stuff. And what they do is they try to mitigate the man. They try to neuter him. They try to keep him controlled. And they put ice on the wings. And every time that guy tries to go and do some level up, hey, you're gone too much. Blah, blah. It's met with some sort of criticism and some sort of frustration. And so you got these two different things. So the first thing as a man you got to understand is you got to, if you're not already in a relationship, you got to decide whether you're dealing with a princess. And if you're dealing with a princess, she's going to turn into a tyrant when you get married. She's going to be tyrant. Or are you dealing with a pioneer woman, a girl that's ready to take the hits with you? She's ready to go to war for you. She's going to freaking fight with you. She's going to put you back together. I had 2 marriages to compare this to. The first marriage was ice on my wings. The marriage I have now is a pioneer woman.
Yeah, see, you know, dudes will get on the internet and they'll make clips about this like, guys, you just really need to identify what woman you're dealing with first before you get married. Here's my recommendation. Don't get married at all, okay? Because what this man with the hat on says is true. You have women out here who will either, A, just pretend to be not crazy, pretend like they love you for you, and then end up trying to take your money. So you do have a lot of women who do that, who get married for simply the sake of financial gain. And then you also have women who are just horrible, which men are encouraged to commit to anyway. I don't see a benefit for men in marriage. I think it's an absolutely huge risk. I don't really care what risk assessment you do of the woman, guys. The fact of the matter is that obviously not every woman is going to divorce you, but every woman can. And that is the problem. Every woman can try and divorce you and walk away with cash and prizes. So no, I won't be doing any of this. Well, she might be this type of woman and she might be that type of woman. I mean, I'm just not interested, guys. No marriage, no thank you. Let's run it back and continue.
Take the hits with you. She's ready to go to war for you. She's going to freaking fight with you. She's going to put you back together. I had 2 marriages to compare this to. The first marriage was ice on my wings. The marriage I have now is a pioneer woman. That girl, man, she's the best person I know. I'm just going to say it like that. This ain't pandering. This ain't trying to get her to listen to this so I get laid later. I'm just going to call it like it is.
Twice if you're something.
I can help. Save me. Nobody talk to me about this. There wasn't a grown-ass man that said, dude, this is what you need to look for. You need to be careful. There's 2 types of women out there. You're looking for the pioneer women, and they are a dying breed. And I'll tell you, that's why a lot of dudes are leaving and going to other countries right now to try and find those type of traditional women. Because the women in the States right now are being raised without accountability. They're being raised like the princesses, and they're being conditioned to be entitled for doing nothing.
I totally agree with this man. Right? Insofar as a lot of women these days are being raised to not respect men at all, to not care at all, to treat dudes like crap, to you know, essentially just be incredibly entitled for absolutely nothing. Guys, I kid you not, right? I did a video, I believe it was yesterday, okay, where a woman was asked, what does she bring to the table in terms of a relationship? You know, what does she bring to the table? And I kid you not, this woman's answer was, she brings her soul to the table. That's what she brings, apparently. She doesn't cook. She doesn't clean. She's not pleasant to be around. She's not feminine. She's not kind. She doesn't bring purity to the... She brings nothing that men really care about to the relationship at all. And yet she expects, you know, a high-quality man. It's so insane, the discrepancy there is, right? Women are expected to bring absolutely nothing to the relationship. Men are expected to bring absolutely everything. And if we don't, then somehow we're the problem. Okay, mind you guys that even when a man does bring his absolute A game to these relationships, if he's not attractive enough, oftentimes he just gets thrown to the wayside anyway. So no, I'm not going to go through all of this nonsense. I'm not going to end up in a divorce court by getting married because I'm simply not interested.
Countries right now to try and find those type of traditional women, because the women in the States right now are being raised without accountability. They're being raised like the princesses, and they're being conditioned to be entitled for doing nothing. Just by existing, they're owed something.
He is exactly right. The level of entitlement that today's men have to put up with is insane, and they have had enough of it.
Right here is broke. He's broke. Look at him. Look at him.
Yeah. Seems like a great start to a date, doesn't it?
I'm gonna take you home. I'm gonna take you back home.
Home?
Yeah, home, because she certainly doesn't deserve a date.
Back home, make yourself some cup noodles.
Cup of noodles. Love it.
You want to take me home? I look like this in your car right now, and you want to take me home?
I mean, I could go for a cup of noodles, to be honest, but this is the entitlement that we were talking about a second ago. I look like this. You have to take me out to X restaurant. You have to spend this much money on me. No. I mean, let's call this for what it actually is, okay? These women, by the way, they're taught that this is respecting themselves, okay? This is empowerment. You need to force a man to open up his wallet, and if the man doesn't open up his wallet, then he doesn't care about you. You know, I have a different word for this, as do many people, which is that you are essentially a night worker. Okay, I can't say the word on YouTube of what that actually means, but you are essentially a night worker. Why do we need to go through all of this? You need a man to spend money on you before you consider him as a quote-unquote option. I mean, let's just cut the nonsense here. You're essentially just, the man is buying you. He is literally paying money to you. So, you know, there's lots of fancy ways you can talk about this, but at the end of the day, you're essentially just a night worker. And this is disgusting, guys. This is the behavior that a lot of guys have to deal with. Oh, you have to take, why don't you take me out to dinner? Why don't you pay for this? Why don't you pay for that? No, thank you. I don't care how you look. It's not, women get this so confused, man. They're like, well, I look so attractive, which again, you know, can't really roast this woman because I'll be banned, but they think that it's all about how attractive they look. Okay, oh, I'm this attractive, so I deserve this. You understand that the moment you start saying what you deserve and that men have to pay for you, you instantly become unattractive. It doesn't matter how beautiful you might think you are, you instantly become very unattractive. So he's taking her back home. He's saying, you know, you're going to have to deal with some noodles. I might have some noodles after this, to be honest with you.
Cup of noodles. Love it.
You want to take me home? I look like this in your car right now, and you want to take me home?
Don't care.
I'm gonna be nice.
You sure about that?
Oh yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. And you can get any other date, right? Just like you said, you can get any dude to come and take me on the hill and take you out one night, right?
I like this guy.
You can get that at any time, right?
So now we're not going on the date because you don't want to pay more than Starbucks.
Oh, it's not bad. So money's no option.
So if money's no option, then why are we going on a date? Like an actual date?
Because one, you trying to put me on blast. Like you got your phone down, filming this interaction right now.
Yeah.
I thought I was getting pranked at this point. Like, it feels like it's not real because I've never had a grown man take me to Starbucks for a date. What is this, high school?
You had a grown man in general.
Yeah, see, I totally agree on this recording part, by the way. Modern women don't seem to understand this. But you might think it's some sort of power play, right? You're pulling out your phone, you're recording the interaction. We as dudes, we do not normally like to be recorded and posted to the internet, especially our personal lives, okay? Now, yes, there are some guys who do this, but for the most part, men tend to be a lot more private. We don't want to be recorded and posted on your TikTok. Also, here's the funny part about this situation. I always see this argument from women, right? Oh, well, if you have money, if money is no problem, why can't you take me to an actual dinner? The money's not the problem. The point is that you're trying to use the guy for his money. There are plenty of very wealthy men who make a lot of money, who will refuse to take you out to these places simply because of your attitude and the way that you treat men. We are not a personal ATM. We are not your second wallet that you can use for free. It's not a matter of how much money the man has. Okay, these women get it so backwards. They're like, well, if you won't take me out on a date, that must mean you're broke. No, no, no. Oftentimes, the men who have a lot of money, they don't want to deal with you because they don't like you. I mean, I'm just calling it the way it is, guys, you know? Like, a man can have a lot of money. It can be no issue for him to take you to dinner. The problem is you're demanding that he spend money on you. And she's saying, well, I can, you know, she said before, apparently, well, I can get other men. Okay, go and date those guys then. Try and extort money out of them. But me, no. See you later. Get out of here.
I've never had a grown man take me to Starbucks for a date. What is this, high school?
Facts.
You know, you acting better on picture. You expect me to take you to some hot dog restaurants, okay? You know what? I'm gonna do you one better. I'm not even gonna take you home.
No, what?
Any dude you come and get you and take you out, okay?
Sensational. That's the word you're looking for.
Exactly.
Yeah, sensational.
Have you guys noticed that some of my videos have gone missing over here on YouTube? That is because I am slowly moving them over to locals where I can actually host them without the risk of getting in trouble. If you are not aware, many creators are starting to move over to places like locals, Rumble, etc. because YouTube is not really a free speech platform. So if you are interested in supporting the channel and getting access to videos that are no longer available here, make sure that you come and join us over on Locals. The link will be in the video description down below. Supporters get access to their own exclusive videos that are no longer available to the public. So make sure you go to the link in the description and join us over there now. But anyway, guys, back to today's episode.
Go ahead and make sure that's the case.
Are you serious right now?
Ladies, take a lesson. For those of you that like to act entitled to everything, just remember, that could be you.
Hate to break it.
Yeah, I mean, the guy was being nice by even offering to drop her home at the end of it anyway. This is the part, I think he's absolutely right. This is the part where you throw the woman out of the car entirely, okay? You stop every sort of giving to the woman. I'm not paying for anything. I'm not taking you out to these dinner dates. Hell, I'm not even driving you home. If you can go get another man, so be it. Go and get another man. He can pick you up from the side of the road. Have fun, enjoy. It's amazing to me, guys, how like this man, for example, like let's talk about driving for a second. This man doesn't have to drive you. He didn't have to pick you up. He doesn't have to drop you off. And women oftentimes these days, they just look at it like it's nothing, that men should do these things. So no, this is a privilege that men gave to you. If you want to be unappreciative, if you want to be awful, then the men are not required to do these behaviors for you. Get the hell out of here. Let's continue on to this next clip. It says, are American women scaring men away? Scaring is the wrong kind of word I would use here, but let's take a listen.
To you, I think that we've just got a very, very selfish culture of women. And to any women out there that say I have internalized misogyny or anything like that, that would require that I have a problem with women worldwide. I do not have a problem with women worldwide. I have a problem with Western women. And if you think that I'm just like making this up out of nowhere, reflect on the fact that there are Western men that are flying out east to find wives. Are Eastern men coming out west to find wives?
Oh hell no. Oh hell no. If you're looking for a wife, the worst place you can look is Western and westernized society. Absolutely not, man. That's a very good question. Why is it that the Eastern men are not coming to Western countries in order to find wives and in order to find girlfriends? It's almost like there's not really any here, is there? You see what I'm saying? And this is a very good question, okay? Why is it that Western men are leaving in the first place? Guys, this is no joke, okay? This is not some small amount of men who are doing this. This is not some small little idea that 30 or so men have had. No, men are leaving in the thousands. They are done, man. They are not finding their wives and girlfriends here. Let me tell you that. A lot of guys, what they do is they go out there, they date some more, they date some more. They think to themselves, well, is it just me? They try one more time, and after, you know, getting screwed over a bunch of times, they say, nope, I'm completely out. I can do absolutely everything for a woman and I can still get treated like trash. I'm going to go find where the real women are. And they go to these other countries where women are polite, respectful, who actually treat them like human beings, who can cook food, and who are actually feminine. And you know what? I don't blame these guys for doing that whatsoever. Makes total sense to me.
No. Where in the world are men flying out in droves to marry American women? Nobody wants us. Why? We're big, we're selfish. We don't want to hear anything. You can't tell me to eat less. You can't tell me to change my life. You can't tell me it's not about me.
I totally agree with this, okay? Western women, guys, it's like, they don't want to listen to anything. It's all about them. It's all about me, excuse me, what I want, what I need. Here's what I need for a man. And then if you as a man, here's the crazy part. If you have a requirement from one of these Western women and you go, hey, I don't appreciate when you do this, or I don't want to date a woman who does insert X behavior that's really awful. I mean, you just get roasted for it. Oh, what? You don't like women? Or, oh, you must like dudes instead. And notice all the shaming language starts to come out. They call you names and things like this. It's like, no, bro. I just have self-respect. I don't want to date a woman who hits the club. Like, I know that's such a strange and archaic idea to you, but dudes don't want to marry women who are hitting the bars every weekend, man. We don't want to marry the women who are posting questionable photos of themselves on Instagram. We don't want to marry and date the women who are incredibly entitled, who use us for our wallets. They don't actually give a damn about us. Mind you, all of this is happening in countries where men are screwed over for getting married in the first place. So you're already playing a losing battle, and then on top of it, you treat men very terribly, and then you wonder why men fly to these other countries, guys. It makes total sense to me. I said it earlier, I'll say it again. It makes total sense to me why men are leaving Western countries and Western women behind.
I don't hear anything. You can't tell me to eat less. You can't tell me to change my life. You can't tell me it's not about me.
She hit the nail on the head. Not only do today's men have to endure the entitlement, but they have to also deal with the fact that they make everything about themselves. The juice simply isn't worth the squeeze anymore.
What's your age? 23. Are you single? I am now. What do you mean? I had a wife, now I don't have a wife. How do you go from having a wife to not having a wife?
Well, it's simple, bro. She just decides to leave you one day because she feels like it. And she tries to take your crap, or she cheats on you because she thinks she can do better. I mean, you know, your guess is as good as mine. She just leaves because she feels like it, to be honest with you. Let's take a listen. Why did the wife... What happened here?
I went on deployment to Okinawa, Japan. My wife fucked a dude 1 week into that deployment. Now I don't have one.
And there it is, right? So this guy got deployed in Japan, apparently. I don't know what exactly his job is, military or otherwise, don't really know. Got deployed in Japan. Wife cheated on him 1 week into deployment, and now he doesn't have a wife. And guys, you know, people often say, well, it's the man's fault. It's the man's fault. Guys, women are the ones who are leaving marriages. They are the ones who are sabotaging the marriages. Okay, if you guys look at the divorce statistics, I believe it goes a little something like this. Apparently, don't quote me on this. If anyone has more accurate statistics, feel free to share them in the comments, but this is how I understand it. 50+% of marriages end in divorce. 70+% of those marriages that end in divorce are initiated by women, 70 to 80%. It goes as high as 90% if the woman is college educated, insofar as her initiating the divorce, the odds of that happening. So, you know, society likes to blame a lot of this on the men. Oh, well, if she cheated, then it's your fault. You clearly pushed her into the arms of another man. You're just too jealous. You're just too insecure. Get the hell out of here. We make all of these defenses for people who, quite honestly, treat men absolutely terribly. So he goes to Japan 1 week into deployment. Wife cheats on him, and now he had to get rid of her. And this is what I'm saying, by the way, guys, right? Is like, when dudes are the ones who have to initiate the divorce, typically that means that something very bad has happened. Dudes aren't just out here typically initiating divorces because they feel like it. It's usually because one of these new age Western women has decided to take it upon herself to sabotage the marriage altogether. But let's continue.
How do you go from having a wife to not having a wife? I went on deployment to Okinawa, Japan. My wife fucked a dude 1 week into that deployment. Now I don't have one.
Well, how long were you together?
I've known her my whole life, since I was like elementary school, the whole way on to high school. Joined the Navy, married the girl. Now we're here, single.
I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
It is what it is.
Did she beg for you back?
She did, yeah.
What'd you tell her?
I said, you gotta be out by December. She was out by December. That was it.
How much did you spend on the ring for her?
$6K.
$6,000.
$6,000.
And you thought you were getting...
Yeah, no quality there. Yep.
So could you see yourself getting married again?
Probably not. These girls now don't tell the truth about nothing. Just do your thing.
I just found out that.
That's so sad, man, isn't it? You know what's something really bad about this situation as well is this guy probably doesn't even care about the $6,000 that he lost on the ring. He was probably just sad that the marriage ended. Sad that it ended the way it did. Okay, it's like $6,000. That guy, the emotional pain that causes probably hurts a lot more than losing the $6,000. Guys, we just wave that off on top, right? It's like, oh yeah, the men get screwed over and they lose a lot of money. It's like, yeah, why don't men want to get married anymore? Why don't they want to go out here and marry these Western women? Because not only do you have to deal with all of the nonsense, right, of this kind of crap, but then on top of all the pain that you have to go through, then what happens is the little cherry on top is you just, lose thousands of dollars as well. It's insane. And so this guy's single. He's back out there. He's returned to the dating, and he understands. He understands that there's not really any quality women here. I mean, you can go to these women's Instagram DMs and you'll find dudes in there, despite the fact that she'll say she's loyal. It's a really sad world we live in these days, man. As the saying goes, they don't make them like they used to, right? Let's continue on to the next clip here. What is this? This one says, I just found out that the most prominent hormone when you're on your period is testosterone. That can't be right. Let's take a listen.
The most prominent hormone when you're on your period is testosterone. So when you're acting emotional on your period, you're literally acting like a man.
Wrong. Here's a little biology lesson for you. The most emotional time is when she's PMSing, which is usually 1 to 2 weeks before her menstrual period, which is exactly when estrogen levels peak in the days leading up to ovulation, which is the PMS period. You don't even know your own body and still try to use it to weaponize it against men somehow. Why don't you go call your
I actually have seen this clip before. I came across it on some other platform. I don't really recall. But I've actually seen this clip where this man posted this, right? He says, actually, the way it works is when you're most emotional, it's when you have the peak amount of estrogen. And then I recall the comments just roasting this guy, saying that he doesn't like women. It's crazy to me these days, guys, how what you can do is you can go out there, you can disagree with something that is very stupid. And then when you disagree and you give supporting evidence as to why you disagree, then people just get on there and they just call you names, right? Oh, you must not like women. You can't get women, etc., etc. Even if what the man is saying is absolutely correct. It's wild to me how the dude will get on here, completely correct and ruin the woman, and then the people in the comments will just be insulting him, saying that he doesn't like women. Very interesting how that works. Let's continue.
Never seen a woman make a broke man rich, but I've seen plenty of men make broke women rich. Do you think that we have a problem in society? We definitely do. We got many of them. But why is it that, a woman will never stay with a broke man, but a broke man has no problem, providing and building up a broke woman?
I actually, speaking of this exact case, I saw a comment on yesterday's video, I believe, of a man who, I apologize, man, I don't remember your name, your account name, but I believe it was on yesterday's video, depending on when this one gets released. It was one of the top comments, and the guy said how he lost his job or something because he got seriously injured. He suffered an amount of brain damage, so his income got cut by like 2/3 essentially. I'm paraphrasing here, I don't quite recall. And then of course, not too long afterwards, his wife left him, and apparently it had nothing to do with the money. But let's talk about this, guys. Let's really think about this for a second. A lot of women, not all of them, but a lot of women, when they go out there and they get married, right, they're looking to settle down and get into a relationship, as it were. These women are not normally marrying dudes who earn less money than them, right? They're going after the guys who can provide, who make more money than them. It doesn't matter if the woman is making 100 grand. She wants a dude who's making 150. We know how this goes, okay? Women very much so consider your finances when they are looking for a long-term relationship, okay? It's funny because you compare this to women's short-term relationships. They'll just go hook up with the guy if he's attractive enough. But the long-term relationship, the man who has to be in it for the long haul, he has to put in all the effort. He has to work hard, do all of this, and he gets a fraction of the bedroom intimacy. Very funny how that works. And I also see a lot of women saying, oh, I built up my husband, or I did this and I made him a lot of money. I'm always incredibly skeptical, man, when I see videos like that of women saying, I built up my man. I don't believe it. They just want to say that because they want to feel entitled to more of his money at the end, a lot of the time.
Because the thing is like, nowadays, most broke women don't even think they're broke. They just think that they're dating the wrong man. But then they'll look at a guy who's like working fucking 60 hours a week at a job that doesn't really pay that much, but he's doing his fucking best, and she'll look at him and be like, that's broke boy energy. No, that's hubby energy, actually. That's fucking husband material, actually. I feel like as women, we have such a like strong desire to be taken care of that we forget that like men are human beings.
Men are way less.
I will say this always, guys, I make a point of saying this about these particular videos, is I'm always very, very skeptical when women get online and they say something that takes the man's position, right? They empathize with men. I'm always incredibly skeptical of these particular videos. A lot of these women are making these videos because they are trying to farm a male audience who thinks that they care. I'm always of the belief that nobody really cares. to be honest with you, I don't think people care about men's struggles whatsoever. I think that as a man, you have to understand that typically speaking, you're going to be alone, and the best person you have to rely on is going to be yourself. So that said, let's continue on to the next clip here.
Committed to relationships than men. And this is why men
What
are
did you just
way
say? Women are way less committed to relationships than men.
less committed to relationships than men. And this is why marriages are falling apart. But we're not allowed to say that. Seatbelts on. Buckle up. I will say it again. Women are less committed to relationships than men. Roughly 70% of divorces are initiated by women. They are willing to throw the towel in sooner. Feminazis will try to convince you that women do this because of men. Because for them, the equation is always men equals evil. Now,
Yeah, well, of course, right? If the women are the ones who are divorcing the men, then the men must be the problem. Do you ever think that men actually stick it out through thick and thin? That they are actually way more inclined to try and make things work and to keep the relationship going than women are? Point in case, guys, women oftentimes treat their relationship like garbage because they think that they can get that next man from her Instagram DMs. And you know what? You know what the really sad part is? They can. Because they have all these simps who are going out here giving these women free attention, free validation, or absolutely nothing. And so what happens is women don't value relationships very much these days, guys. They really don't. I make jokes about it all the time where you'll have women saying, well, you know, one ear is bigger than the other, so I'm going to go throw this guy out and replace him. But it actually is. That's a bit of a joke, but women do throw men out for very little reasons. Well, if I date Jake over here, Jake has a better car and he lives closer to the city, so he can do me driving for this. But, you know, Timmy over here, he has a better friendship circle. Timmy's going better in his career, so I've also got him as a potential option maybe. You know, people like to say that men are the ones who logically plan this crap out. But I'm telling you, man, women do this stuff, right? They know who they can and can't talk to. Well, they don't know who they can and can't get commitment from. They're very bad at that. But they always have these backup plans and these men that they are ready to talk to next, as it were.
Imagine if we took men out of the equation entirely. Oh wait, we don't have to imagine that at all. We have that data. We have.
Yeah, when you remove men from the equation and you take into account, for example, women who are married to other women, it gets even worse. What a shocker.
The divorce rates for lesbian couples. Lesbians have the highest divorce rates in the country. It turns out that if you have twice the women in a relationship, you also have twice the chance of divorce. You couldn't write it if you tried.
Well, how does that work, guys? I'm so confused. I thought that men were the problem in marriage, right? I thought that we were the ones who are not fulfilling our duties. We are just big children and things like this, incapable of doing anything right. So how is it that the divorce rate doubles when you pair women together with women? That doesn't make sense at all, guys. Something's kind of wrong here, isn't it?
Oh, there you go.
I'm a married lesbian.
Oh, Lord.
I'm what y'all would call a stud, but to be honest, I want a divorce and want to switch up to dating men. These women these days are looking for parents and not partners. They just expect you to pay for everything and spoil them as if God put you on this earth to spoil them. Never been attracted to a man in my life. I'm just sick of these. How?
You know what? What a fantastic place to leave today's episode. We even have women who are not wanting to marry or date women anymore, even though they are only attracted to women. Hilarious. Guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. Remember to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace.